Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents the Boom Boom Room. And of course, I am the sexiest man on all internet wrestling radio. Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RBA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, breaking news out of the world of professional wrestling. News just came down roughly, I would say about maybe 10 minutes ago. It's just about 10 till noon here, Eastern time here in Virginia. But the NWA and Jim Cornette have parted ways after response to his controversial remarks on episode 7 of NWA Power. Um, for those of you maybe living under the rock for like the past 12 hours, the NWA pulled down episode 7 temporarily. That was called The Phoenix Rises after during the Nick Aldis Trevor Murdoch match, he had made a comment saying, and I quote, Trevor Murdoch is the only person who can strap a bucket of fried chicken to his back and ride a motor scooter across Ethiopia. Trevor Murdoch can take care of himself, unquote. Uh, yeah, that got a lot of dander up there. The NWA immediately apologized for this. As I previously mentioned, they took down the comment. They and Nick Aldis, the national treasurer, the NWA's world heavyweight champion, responded on Twitter with a comment saying, and quote, this in no way speaking on behalf of the NWA. I'm absolutely speaking for myself. I thought the comment was in poor taste and unnecessary. I totally understand why it caused many to be upset. It was a lack of judgment or sensitivity. I, w- I have worked really hard along with many others on this team to make the brand mean something again, and this is not how I want the NWA to be trending, unquote. Um, my question is how the fuck did this even make air to begin with? This shit has been in the can. This is episode 7. This shit was filmed late October. So for let's just say maybe around a month, this has all been in the can. Nobody listened to this. Even the people editing this, putting this together, didn't hear it, and they didn't bring it, and that didn't raise any fucking red flags. Not only one, are you making a racial joke, but two, you're making a joke about Ethiopia. And of course, I'm old enough to remember that at one point in time, Ethiopia was going through a bad famine, and people were literally fucking starving to death. Of course, this has drawn a lot of controversy. I mean, hell, if you look on Wrestling Ranton's page, he's just completely upset about it, and I honestly don't fucking blame him. I don't blame him in the least bit. And of course, a lot of people say, well, Cornette's going to fucking Cornette. Guys, to me, this is just part of a bigger fucking problem with Cornette. Um, because if you look at what Cornette, here's what happened in the fallout for this. This roughly 12 hours after this comment, NWA released a statement saying, and I'm quoting here, Jim Cornette has resigned from the National Wrestling Alliance as an announcer on the November 19th edition of NWA Power. Jim made remarks during a singles match between Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch were both offensive and do not meet the high standards of decency and good faith with the National Wrestling Alliance. To ensure that such an error can never happen, we established new procedure of review for all NWA programming going forward. We sincerely regret our failure in this regard. Okay, I do appreciate that they're taking controversy, but again, NWA, how the fuck did this even make air? How did you not fucking catch this? It's one thing if this happens live, if somebody fucks up, fumble, says something, drops a swear word right there, and you're not able to bleep it in time, that's one thing. But this has been in the can for weeks, for probably damn near a month. And it wasn't until that you didn't hear it until then. I mean, guys, you've got to do a better job of producing. You got to do a better job of editing. You've got to do a better job of quality control. Now, this episode, NWA Power Episode 7, has been since restored, and that controversial line has been cut out. But here's what irks me here is Cornette, again, he posted a comment on Twitter just before 10 o'clock this morning, Eastern time, and said, "Morning, everybody. Heard any good jokes lately? This coming Friday's Jim Cornette experience is liable to be a good one if you like hearing stupid people told what they can do with their stupidity. And to me, this just shows he's not taking it seriously. He's having the feeling that it's somebody else's problem, and I think that's Cornette's fucking mentality right now. I mean, he's a grown ass man. I think he's in his fucking 60s by now, late 50s, early 60s by now. But yet he's got the fucking mentality of a goddamn 13-year-old. Everybody else is fucking stupid. It's always somebody else's fault. He's always the victim. That is fucking bullshit. Jim, grow the fuck up. It's just a. This is part. It would be one thing if you say something fucking stupid, because we've all been there. Every single one of us have said things that we're not proud of. We've said things that we regret. We've done things that we regret. We've done things that we're not proud of. But there's fucking Jim just be like, well, I did it, but it's your fault because you didn't get the fucking joke. No, 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 Jim, you fucking told a fucking racist fucking joke. You gotta, if you would have owned up to it, said, look, I was just trying to, put over Trevor Murdoch. Looking back, maybe it wasn't the right thing to say. Understand some people are upset by this. I apologize. I'll watch my language in the future. So, if I offended you, I apologize. Take ownership of it and move on. But instead, we're getting the whole finger pointing, and this is just a pattern of behavior from Cornette. I mean, he's been if it was done after 1989, he don't like it, and it's always somebody else's fault, and he's always the fucking victim. And if you look back, he's got a history of making these comments. There's again, Wrestling and Ranting played like a video like him making comments where he's dropping N-bombs back and forth. And it's one thing if you just drop an N-bomb and then you're pretty much clean up your act. You don't say anything for 15, 20 years, hell, 10 years, whatever, doesn't matter. And just, it's just, you can chalk that up to an accidental slip up. Okay, you did something stupid, you've owned up to it, you've moved on. But when you keep doing shit like that, that's a fucking pattern. And that's a fucking problem. To me, I've just got issues with Cornette, and a lot of the problems I have with him is one, I don't think he's moved past the mentality of a 13-year-old child. Uh, he, and I think he's a colossal hypocrite. If you look back, just the things he criticizes, and he criticizes comedy wrestling. Okay, all right, fine. People like goofy gimmicks and all that stuff. Well, his first gimmick, when he came out, was a spoiled rich kid with a tennis racket. Where did he get the idea for the tennis racket? He watched one of the teen movies back in the day. Even he doesn't know which one, but watched a teen movie where one of the characters in there had a tennis racket. So, I'll adopt that. And look at the fucking ridiculous shit. He wore polyester jackets. Let's see, he wore a Confederate general jacket on a WCW pay-per-view. Wore all kinds of weird, just jacked up stuff on WWF. Criticizes. Let's see. The big one is, let's see, he criticized Kota Ibushi for wrestling a blow-up doll in DDT. Yes, that is true. He was young, and his career was just starting out. And yeah, he wrestled a blow-up doll. But Jim Cornette wrestled a Ninja Turtle knockoff in his own fucking promotion. He had control over everything, and he chose to Cowabunga. In case anybody doesn't fucking believe me, he wrestled Cowabunga, the Ninja Turtle, or the Toxic Turtle, I think is what it was, in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, his promotion. Criticizes Kenny Omega for his facials. That the moves don't mean nothing. But let's see, he got his face dunked into a birthday cake by the Rock and Roll Express. He also had matches and feuds against Baby Doll, and this is back in the old NWA days, back in the heyday here. And also, one of his big feuds was he wrestled Paul Heyman in a tuxedo match. Now, for some of you out there don't know exactly what a tuxedo match is. A tuxedo match is where both competitors wear a tuxedo, and the object of that match to win is to tear off the other guy's tuxedo. And you want to talk about realism and everything. In what fucking street fight, like if I get pissed off at somebody or somebody gets pissed off at me, what are we going to do? We're probably just going to duke it out, bare knuckles, try to hurt each other. But one thing we're not going to do is try to literally rip everybody's clothes off and leave them down in their skimpies. Not going to happen. So it seems like it's okay as long as he likes the brand of comedy, because he criticizes Orange Cassidy, he criticizes Joey Ryan, and if you like him, fine. If you don't like him, fine. It's all subjective. I mean, it's comedy. Comedy is subjective. There's a place for everything. It doesn't seem he doesn't seem to believe that there is a time and a place for everything. I mean, if you go to your movie theater right now, whatever theater you got around your house, look on the marquee. What movies have they got playing? Are they all action movies? Are they all comedies? Are they all, romance? No. I mean, you've got an action flick, you've got a horror flick, you got a kids movie, you got a rom com, you got all kinds of different things to choose from. Same thing with same thing with wrestling. You can have a time and place for everything. And if you don't like it, that's fine. I mean, some people don't like strong style. Some people don't like lucha libre. Some people don't like technical. Some people don't like hardcore. And that's fine. But there's other things you can like. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's, like I said, it's subjective. But apparently he gets the one that gets to draw the fucking line. And this is the same guy who's milked a fucking feud with Vince Russo for shit over 20 fucking years now. When Ranton met him, he just showed him a picture of Vince Russo, and of course he drew all over it, drew a fucking penis on it, and I'm fucking, he's fucking gay or whatever, and he's kept that shit going. Hell, in Viceland, the most recent, when they talked about the Montreal Screwjob on the dark side of the ring, they fight, he doesn't want to, they've been interviewing him, and just out of nowhere, he just suddenly, after saying quiet for 20 years, now says, oh, no, I'm the one who came up with the screw job. I'm the one who decided to double cross Brett after keeping his mouth shut for 20 fucking years. And then Russo steps in. I also think, and there's another reason why I think he's a fucking hypocrite. He told the story about Santino Marella, about slapping the shit out of him over the Boogeyman incident in OVW. And talked about, oh, he ruined the fucking angle, tried to act too cool. And finally, Santino was like, look, here's what happened. Yes, I was in the beginner class. I never said I was the shit. I was with my daughter. My daughter was with me on there, and I'm not going to get up and run and scream and panic with my young daughter sitting right there with me. And he's like, and the Boogeyman was, okay, yeah, it was a little tension, but we were cool with it. And then, but Jim kept telling that story about wanting to slap the shit out of me. And finally, when Santino ran into Cornette at a convention, and basically just said, okay, here I am, slap the shit out of me. You want to talk about this some more? What did fucking Cornette do? He tried to run. And when he couldn't run, because Santino blocked his exit, that's when Cornette started making a scene. Hey, look at me. This guy's trying to block me. He started drawing all the attention to him so he wouldn't get his ass kicked because he's a fucking coward. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting to me how he acts. And here's another thing on the hypocrisy meter. About a few months ago, I want to say it's more like it was like a legal trademark dispute. Somebody, and this is another thing, and I think part of the reason Cornette does what he does is because of his fucking fans, allegedly. Because he has these people, the cult of Cornette, that they just do this shit. I think they just do it. They take shit that he knows he's going to hate. He puts it up there, and now that Cornette knows that this is his shtick, is to hate things, he goes over the top with it. Somebody will always bring up Vince Russo because they know, pull the cord on the dog there. I hate Russo. Russo's stupid. Russo's killing the business. Russo's a fucking, I fucking hate Russo. Because it's just like clockwork. And he's been doing that shtick for over 20 fucking years now. Well, they had this one incident where somebody sent him in a video of a deathmatch wrestler by the name of G Raver. I've never heard of him before. He's a hardcore deathmatch kind of guy. He got cut during this match, and Cornette made, well, maybe they should have stopped the show so we could all watch him bleed to death. Okay, whatever. And then so G Raver took exception to this and made a T-shirt, and it was a picture of Jim Cornette's face with red X's over the eyes. And like probably a couple dozen little metal skewers sticking out of his forehead, and it just said "fuck Cornette." And of course, Cornette got fucking pissed off, got his lawyers, got his legal team or whatever involved. Don't use my image, whatever. In which you would think, okay, that's a fair point. But if you go to Jim Cornette's website and you go onto his merchandise area, the thumbnail for it, not buried back on page 14 of his merchandise. No, this is the thumbnail, and it's one of the first shirts you see when you click on that. There's a picture of Jim Cornette urinating on the grave of Vince Russo, with the white caption, "Hell, hate is a hell of a motivator." So to me, kids, Cornette is okay. If you do, you ever anybody ever see that movie Varsity Blues? This is way back in the day. This is probably showing my age. Back in the late '90s, was one of the first movies that MTV ever did. Um, there's this scene. It's about a high school football team, and they're just kind of like they're all cock of the walk. The big guys on campus, and they're it's just kind of it's kind of like a coming of age like with them. But there's a scene early in the movie where they've won the football game. They're doing like this big after party. It's them there, some of the cheerleaders, some of the cool kids in high school. But there's this guy that was there. He's a little bit older, and he's got and like, well, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I've never missed any of these. And it's like, yeah, but you graduated like 10 years ago. And it's like, oh yeah, but I'm just cool. And they finally had to run him out. So to me, that's Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette is that guy in his fucking like mid 20s, still wearing his high school Letterman's football jacket because he heard some cool shit back in the fucking 80s. Maybe kind of joined on there, heard some few things and committed it all to memory because he's got all these fucking like all he's like he took a notebook and wrote down all these hackneyed phrases. It's like he doesn't release albums, they escape. He's got more coming out of him than AT&T. This guy is slicker than sperm on a gold tooth. I mean, just shit that doesn't make any fucking sense by today's. It makes no fucking sense. But yeah, it's like he's going down this fucking notebook, flip the page, and it has nothing to do with anything that's going on in the ring with this commentary, but yet he still keeps doing it. Uh, so to me, I'm beside myself. I just think that I mean the guy's fucking an immature fucking prick. Bottom line. And I really think he needs to grow up. I know it's kind of sad because there's guys probably maybe old enough to be my father, and and yet he still acts like I mean, hell, my fucking daughter doesn't even fucking act like that. It's fucking pathetic. Jim, grow the fuck up. So, and I don't blame people for being upset. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's get to some of the questions here. Imagine reworking the commentary for NWA. It's going to be a hassle. I don't, Marcos. I don't think they're going to rework it. I think they're just going to air all the episodes. I mean, trust me. I think they're going to be checking the fucking commentary now. And then when they do the new sets of TV tapings, they'll just bring in somebody else and they'll just start fresh. So I think that's what's going to happen. With all his criticisms of today's wrestling, he needs to forget all the stupid crap that his beloved Memphis did. Oh yeah, they did a lot of hokey shit back in Memphis, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no who, that's fine. Wrestling changes. I mean, I know he wants to go back to the Memphis, back to the territory days. But you know what? Time only goes one place. It only moves forward. That's it. For better or for worse, time just keeps moving on. It moves forward. And this, how are we going to bring back the prestige? I mean, dude, the toothpaste is out of the tube. We've already cracked the egg. It's not going back in there. I think nobody in this world today believes this is actually real. It's a show. It is a show. It's an entertaining show. I mean, you watch any kind of show on TV right now. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. I know they just released El Camino. I know they've got the Joker movie. It's just left out of theaters. I mean, nobody believes that stuff is real, but you buy into it. You want to be entertained by it. That's what it is. And but I think it's just one of those. If he did it, it's okay. But if somebody else does it, then that's just fucking stupid. And what's next for Cornette with a job? That's a good question. I don't know. He's been fired or quits every fucking job that he's had. I mean, look back at his track record. I mean, he's quit WCW after spat with, I think it was like Ole Anderson, Jim Herd. I think it was on two separate occasions. Left WWF, left Ring of Honor, left Impact. Hell started his own promotion, ran that shit in the fucking ground. So yeah, I love that. He starts his own wrestling promotion, does everything his way, and that motherfucker still goes out of goddamn business. Oh, but it was 1995. The wrestling business had gone to shit. Well, that's about the time that Paul Heyman took over the book for ECW, and we saw a rebirth of professional wrestling because that spark paved the way for what would later become the Attitude Era, which he also worked in, by the way. It was a good episode, but Cornette's commentary ruined it. Yeah, his commentary could be fucking grating, and I just bear with it. I mean, of course he'll back down. I mean, shit. He talked all that shit about not Exolicious, Sonny Kiss over in AEW, and was criticizing him, and people were like, dude, he's actually gay, and of course he tried to backpedal on that, but that didn't work. And Sammy Callahan took exception to it, punked his ass out live on, oh, not live, but punked his ass out on MLW, spit water in his fucking face, and gave him fucking double, fucking birds right there, and Cornette didn't do shit about it. Whew. Uh, okay. I don't know. It's just a pain in the ass. But anyway, I don't want to end this on a downer. I want to end it on a positive note. I want to tell everybody out there, just be good, take care of yourselves. More stuff coming on here on KocoSports.com. Me and Coco trying to find some time to get together and do some stuff. I'm sorry I haven't been doing the reviews of AEW and NXT like I'd want to. I'm catching up on WoW. I'm finally trying to get a hold of. I've been watching the NWA actually. I'm trying to find a day where I can finally sit down and watch Impact. I want to see what their new vision is. MLW has been sporadic. I haven't really been able to watch that. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff out there. Of course, keep track of everything. So, guys, take care of yourselves. Be good, be careful, behave. And this is Boom for Dave Coco saying the boom just went bang, and I am out.